I'm just tired of getting hurt and feeling vulnerable whenever I express myself. This is one that comes out so often, and this is one that was recently asked by one of my followers for Thriving Thursday, and that's what I'm answering today. Why does this keep repeating? First of all, why do we fall into the same old patterns? Because there is a reason. And how can we transmute that and transform? When we feel like our emotions aren't safe and they're actually hurting us and they're getting us into this place of weakness and vulnerability rather than strength, which is really what they are when we're able to fully embrace and we don't go into the story of what we've been taught that it's not safe and you're weak and all these kind of things. So today I'm actually responding to a question that I received, which was, when my soft emotions that let me being always deceived and manipulated by I got evil women, but I want to generalize this because it's about people, because so many women feel this as well, right? It's like, oh, my vulnerability is what pushed this person away, or my partner or whatever. And first of all, just taking a breath in, because it comes from this long story of emotions aren't okay. And it came all the way from childhood, right? Like, don't cry right now, or, good boys and girls don't behave this way. This isn't polite. And going into, you're going to get rejected if you show your authenticity, if you show your vulnerability. So just taking a breath into that and letting it be okay. Can it be okay? Because really what happens there is, we have our parents or early caregivers, or maybe our siblings, being our bullies. And then once those people are out of our lives, like we're grown up, right? We continue to be our own bully. We continue to say that our emotions are not okay. We continue saying that vulnerability is not all right. It's not safe. And we keep poisoning ourselves. We keep putting ourselves down. So taking a deep breath and releasing that, like allowing yourself just for the 5 minutes or however long this video is going to be, just releasing it. And like, I have the right to feel my freaking feelings and it's safe. And now, I want to communicate this very important point. As long as we believe, like, our mind is dedicated to proving us right, absolutely freaking dedicated, life is working for you. It doesn't mean, when I say that life is working for you, it doesn't mean that you always get what you want. It means you get that which you believe. It's working for you. So if you believe that your vulnerability is what always will keep getting you manipulated and cheated, and it's a disadvantage, you're going to create and attract situations and people that will validate that reality. You're absolutely right, because life is working for you. So as long as there's no point of watching this and trying to shift something. If you're having this belief, like shifting your outer circumstances, if you have this belief within you that my vulnerability or my emotions is what gets me screwed over, then that's what you're going to keep getting. You have to change that belief about your vulnerability, about emotions. Also, the second part of this that I want to address, this particular message, was that when we use the word evil to describe anything or anyone, or when we trash, let's say, our partners, or anybody in our life for that matter, when you talk trash about our boss, whatever we say about others is the reflection of ourselves. It's what our mind uses to speak about us. So really, when we feel anything about anyone outside of us, it's a mirror in one way or another. And there's a part of you that's going there into, I'm not good enough, or maybe I should have acted better. So there's that evilness, and that it could create that sense of insecurity of, I don't want to show up this way. And then it creates guilt, and this resentment towards others turns into guilt about ourselves. I hope this makes sense. I'm sure that if you think about times in your life, this will definitely make sense, because it is very, it's an understanding that's experiential. How many times we resented others and then saying, oh my God, I really don't want to turn into this person. So that when we try to control and see, oh, what did they think of me? Maybe another person, like, what did they think of me? How did they see me showing up? Instead of focusing on what is the purity of my intention, We have this, I really don't want to be like this person that treated me this way at some point in my life, so I'm going to do whatever I can so that this person sees me in a particular way, which is obviously something that you can't control because you're not responsible for their mind. You're just responsible for you. You're responsible of asking, how is it that I'm showing up? What is my intention, and is it pure? Okay? Your responsibility, it's not your responsibility to have somebody perceive something. You just know, was my intention to hurt them? Was my intention to help them? Was my intention to speak my authenticity? That's what you're responsible for. So now, I feel like especially for the person asking these questions, there's a lot of self-forgiveness there. Can that be okay? Can your emotions be okay? And for it to be okay right now, and this is something that I was actually working with a client with just now, for it to be okay right now, there has to be self-forgiveness done about the past. Like, I forgive myself for not holding my authenticity all these years. I forgive myself for buying into my parents or early caregivers or sibling stories that it wasn't safe for me to speak my truth, that it wasn't safe for me to express my emotions, that I would be rejected. And I shut down parts of myself because I believed them. And there's work to be done around that first. Because really anything, when we're present, there's no problem. When we're present, we're just happy and joyous. It's blank, it's this peace, this serenity. When we're not that means we're not here. That means there's a story replaying. So going to that story of what's coming up right now and being with that part of you fully that you can hold and that you can ask for forgiveness because you're not letting it free. You're not setting it free because you haven't done that. I love you and thank you for being a part of me and you're so fantastic and beautiful. There's still shame being carried on to this is a repetitive pattern. Every time I'm emotional, I'm vulnerable, I get taken advantage of. This is a belief system. It's not real right now. But it's something that we choose to carry over to the present moment, which is keeping us out of presence. Because like I said, in presence, there's no story. It just is. So on this note, 2 things for the person who asked this question. First, just being aware of your language with that whole labeling of others, because it's also labeling of yourself. And number 2, create that self-forgiveness practice of, I'm sorry that I didn't make it safe. Like speaking to that younger version of you. I'm sorry that I didn't make you feel safe in expressing your feelings and expressing your authenticity, but now you're safe. Now it's okay, and I love you no matter what. And it's okay if other people don't love you, because I love you. And just taking a deep breath into that. And exhaling out. Now, this is something that oftentimes requires deep subconscious work, so if this is something that you want to deepen in to clear the subconscious blocks, DM me or send me an email, my website, because it's something that I do one-on-one, or this actually is even something that I guide people into in my membership, in the monthly membership. So if this is something that you're interested in, definitely reach out and we can see how I can support you. And on this note, I am wishing you such a powerful day filled with freaking authenticity and vulnerability, because that is where your strength's at.